Title's not clickbait. For the first time ever, I have been served some hefty legal paperwork. And it's not, there wasn't anything ceremonious about it. It's not like any of the, crazy stories you might have heard about people being served where like someone will go incognito like a secret agent, like with the disguise where they have some kind of silicone mask of your mother's face on it. So you open the door and then bang, you get the paperwork served to you or anything. It was nothing like that. Just a normal, unassuming, albeit very large envelope in the mail. Now, it's not a full-blown lawsuit or anything at the moment. It is some demands because there are two YouTubers that believe I have stepped on their tootsies and infringed on their copyright. They are Reed Timmer and Brad Arnold. Now, I initially reached out to both of them because the language in this paperwork is very fishy. I'll get into that more in a moment, but I wanted to talk directly with them to see if this is like a scam or something. Like, I wanted to make sure this was like a legitimate thing before I got my lawyers on this. They haven't responded, so I'm guessing this is probably legitimate. Like, this is probably something they are actually trying to go through with, though I do know that there are a lot of law firms now that are trying to encroach in the space to convince YouTubers to go through copyright law to try and make money. That is something that a bunch of firms have reached out to Matt about to do on my behalf, which is unhinged why any firm would think I would ever do something like that, but it is somewhat normal in the space right now. So I think there is a chance that maybe that's what's happening here and they don't know that, but since they didn't respond, I can't say for sure. So as of now, it feels legitimate, so I will be getting my lawyers on this, obviously, to be going through the next steps of this now, most likely very long procedure. But let's go ahead and talk about what the claim is. So last year, during Hurricane Milton, I did a stream in the middle of Hurricane Milton. I'm in Tampa, and Hurricane Milton came through to spread our cheeks. I was streaming during it. While streaming, I would check like weather updates or like some streams to see the progress of Milton and what's going on in the area. Now, I think all of you know this, I don't do React content anymore, so if there's ever any like content or footage on my stream, it's very brief, and the only things I usually watch are game trailers, movie trailers, or news footage, like news broadcast, publicly available news. So for the hurricane, I thought it would be A-okay to show very brief clips of what was happening with Milton so I could stay up to date, as well as, I guess, share with the audience who was asking, like, what's going on, are you safe, what's happening? And one of the streams I pulled up was a Ryan Hall Y'all stream where he was showing a bunch of footage of Hurricane Milton, and one of the footage snippets, like one of the contributors, was Brad Arnold. You can see his footage there as one of the, on the scene, boots on the ground, reporters there. And I had that section there, that footage that included Brad Arnold's work there on my stream for less than 30 seconds. Unless I missed another instance of it somewhere, it was present for less than 30 seconds. Though I did pause at one point, so if you count the pausing with the image of the footage there, it's a little longer, but I can't imagine a still image counts. If it does, then no bussy is safe, because that would just be fully Pandora's box wide open here. Even this video would be in jeopardy then, because I did just show you a screenshot of that stream that had a still image from Brad Arnold's on the scene work. But it's just a picture, it's not moving or anything, and it's like, I have it here for 5 seconds. I guess we'll see. I think that would be really scary if that is now completely prohibitive and a potential copyright infringement. That would be very, very scary. Anyway, though, that's the extent of Brad Arnold's footage that entered into the Thunderdome of my hour-and-a-half long Hurricane Milton stream. So it was less than 30 seconds. I don't think that's an extensive period of time there, but I'll go ahead and let bygones be bygones on that and move on to Reed Timmer. Reed Timmer and Brad Arnold are both being represented by this firm, so it's a tag team here, a dynamic duo looking to double fist my butthole. Reed Timmer was on my stream for, I wrote these down because it was a couple times. 28 seconds the first time, where I showed some of Reed Timmer's, once again, on the scene footage. It was 28 seconds to see what was going on. And then once I showed that, Reed Timmer's fans came in my chat telling me that I should really check out his tank. He built like this really cool tank, and they really wanted me to see Reed Timmer's tank. So I went to his video that showed his tank, and I had that on screen in total for 1 minute and 10 seconds. I then skipped towards like more of the middle of the video to see the rockets, because everyone wanted me to see like the rockets he has on the tank. So I went there, and that was on screen for 25 seconds total. And then I just paused it, and I just had it as a still image there, so it was there for a bit longer as a still image, not the video playing or anything like that. So in total, less than 2 minutes was Reed Timmer's footage across 2 pieces of his content, one being a live stream and then the other being the tank that his fans really came in and wanted me to see. Maybe that was an elaborate ruse, a big bait from the Reed Timmer community to get me in hot water with him. And if this was a Galaxy Brain chess maneuver, impressive work. I hadn't seen that line before. The Scotch Open got me good there. Like it worked. The bait was successful, because now Reed Timmer is here in the squared circle with a copyright notice. And now let's talk about the actual paperwork here. As I said, the language feels very fishy to me. And the lawyer that I had glance over it to take a peek also found it to be really, really weird. One of the first things that jumped out was they claim that I've used it in multiple instances, in multiple locations. They say that I unlicensed distributed their work in the following locations, and then it gives 2 links to a YouTube video. I said a YouTube video because they only have one YouTube video there. They list it twice. They do the same link twice, but then imply that I'd done it multiple times in multiple locations. So that's already weird. It's the Hurricane Milton stream. I am not familiar with Brad Arnold's work, nor Reed Timmer's. That was the only time I'd ever even heard of their names, was during the Hurricane Milton stream I did from, well, Reed Timmer's community, and then also just from trying to stay knowledgeable on what the fuck is happening with the natural disaster that's hitting my home. Like, that's the only time I was ever even heard of their names before. And what I put on stream of theirs was there for such a small amount of time, I thought there'd be no issue there at all. The paperwork goes on to, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the exact amount, but it goes on to say that they are potentially entitled to many tens of thousands of dollars per infraction. It makes a mention of damages that could get up to 6 figures, about me potentially posting their content on all of my other socials and my other websites, which is obviously not anything that happened. It was only during that stream for like sub 2 minutes. At least from what I can tell on the stream. Maybe I missed a couple instances, but it's not a long period of time at all. But it's saying, or rather implying, that I may have been blasting it all over the place, thus they would be entitled to more money. And then it says things like, in order to comply, I would need to explain where and how I obtained their client's work to copy it. As if I had some kind of Ocean's 11 style heist where I broke into Fort Knox to steal their copyrighted footage for myself, like I took a fucking Dragon Ball or something. Which is really weird, because what do you mean, how did I find this? Those were 2 absolutely massive streams during Hurricane Milton that were there to try and keep people informed on what was happening with Hurricane Milton. They had like fucking 100,000 viewers. Like, they were huge, huge streams. So I saw those streams, and I tuned in to see what was happening with Hurricane Milton for my own safety and to stay up to date on the progress of the hurricane. And the second part of that is absolutely mind-boggling about, like, where and how I found it and copied it. I didn't fucking copy it. I looked at it. I had my peepers on it very briefly. I didn't steal their work. I, fucking download it to a floppy disk. Don't copy that floppy type shit. Like, I didn't copy anything. I looked at their stream for a very, very, very brief period of time during a hurricane that was hitting my house, just to see what was going on and stay knowledgeable. Also, to show chat, stream what was going on in the area. I'm not exactly equipped to show it myself by just taking this camera and going outside during it. I'd get blown away. I'm fucking 5'6". That shit would ragdoll me. I don't have all the gadgetry and doodads to show it. So I looked for a very small handful of seconds at the on-the-scene storm chasers and reporters just to stay up to date. I didn't copy their work, and I wasn't trying to steal their work and pretend like it was mine or make money off of their work. It is an hour and a half stream during Hurricane Milton, and their footage is present for less than 2 minutes at the end of the stream, by the way. Like, Reed Timmer's section there is literally right before I went offline, before my power got knocked out briefly. Or I can't even remember if my power got knocked out in that stream. It happened a couple times. I'm pretty sure it got knocked out in that one. I don't even remember now. But, like, it's at the end of the stream. I feel like it is very odd if this is something Reed Timmer and Brad Arnold are legitimately pursuing. Or maybe this is all a huge misunderstanding, and they don't even know that I got served these papers. I'm hoping that's the case. I have no ill will towards Brad Arnold or Reed Timmer, one way or the other, I suppose. If they really feel like I have done something wrong with that, then they're fully within their right to serve me these precious little papers here that I'm patting real nicely. That it is what it is. I wanted to keep you all in the loop here because this, I'm not gonna lie, was extremely annoying. If you follow Moist Critical Gaming, you probably will have seen the League video I posted the other day where I was fuming. Well, it's because I got served those papers and I was talking to lawyers about it. So it was an extremely frustrating day. Anyway, wanted to just keep you all in the loop here on what's going on. That's really about it. See ya.